Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, I'm here with Cami Langston, and she is joining us to talk all about her business. So, she works with moms to help them create more impact online through growing their digital offers. And she also has a podcast where she talks all things motherhood and business. And there's some episodes on like physical products and just starting a blog and all kinds of amazing things. So, I'm so excited to have Cami on today.
Thank you for having me. Long story short, I was a high school math teacher before I had kids and enjoyed my job, well enough. But when I got pregnant, I knew that I didn't want to go back to work to something that like I didn't love. And really when I looked at it financially, like how much I would be spending on daycare versus how much I made as a teacher in Oklahoma, I would not be bringing home very much. And so I kind of made it my mission to figure out how I could make money from home because at the time, like my husband's job wouldn't support us alone. And so it was just like, well, this is what I feel like I'm called to do. I got to figure out a way. And so I just kind of set out on a mission to figure out like how I could do that while I was home with a baby. And I tried it all. I started in network marketing. I kind of thought that that was the only way that you could make money from home. And through that, really kind of got into the online marketing world and did some virtual assistant stuff. I did some bookkeeping. I did freelance web design. I worked for an online marketing agency. I just kind of like did it all. And eventually, ended up creating a course for the distributors that were in the network marketing company that I was in, just based on a need that I saw. There was like they were having a lot of questions around using different tech tools and things for their business. And that was something that I was good at and I understood how to do. And so I just kind of put it out there and people were super interested. I mean, from one post, I got like 400 email addresses
Wow.
from one post just for interest, of this. And so I do what I teach now, which is doing a beta launch. So putting it out there before you actually create it, doing what's, a pre-sell, what I call a beta launch. And people paid me, people bought it. And I was just like, whoa, this is so cool that I can take something I'm good at, package it up, put it out there, and people will pay me for it. And so it's been a long journey since then of kind of figuring out like how best to help other moms do the same, because it was like as soon as I did that, like I knew that I wanted to help other moms do the same. And there's been lots of iterations in like how I help people. And what I have found in working with moms is that there's really kind of three main things that they need. And a lot of offers and a lot of, different courses or products or things like have a piece of it, but there is always kind of something missing. And basically what it is, like they need the actual strategy. They need to know how to do it. Like, what are the steps? What should I be doing? Right. But then you actually have to have the tools to do it. Like you have to have the software to do it. It's one thing to like know, okay, I need to build a landing page. But if you're like, I don't even know the first thing about how to do that, you're not a web developer, right? If you don't know how to use all the tech, like even just choosing like which one do I choose, there's so many, right? And so they have to actually have the tools. But then there's also like that personal support piece where it's like, okay, I can learn this strategy and I can have these tools of like what somebody else has done, but like how does this actually apply to my business? Right? And like my idea, like I need to tweak it a little bit, but I'm not sure how to do that. And so I just have kind of decided to make it my mission to bring it all together and put it in one place where somebody that is wanting to build their business online can get the strategy of like what actually to do step by step, but then also have the tools. So the all-in-one software, all of the tools you need to build out your marketing strategy, your sales strategy, your delivery, right? Like all of those systems. And then the personal support to answer your questions and to look at your sales page and say, okay, here's the copy that I would change, or how do I actually package this up? Should I include this bonus or this bonus? Should I, do a 5-day challenge, or would it be better to do a webinar? And like really talking through those individual things to figure out what would be best for you and your business and your life. So I've included that all into what I call passive-ish profit. I think we all want that passive income. We want to be able to make more without spending more time, but we know that there's work involved, right? Like
Right.
you have to actually put in some work. There's going to be days that you've got to show up, right? So that's why I call it passive-ish profit. Um, and then I've partnered that with my all-in-one software called Blessing Builder, which is an all-in-one software that has, funnel builder, courses, email, SMS, calendars, all the things you need to build out your business. So that is kind of who I am and how I help moms.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I love that you saw a gap in the market that you were in and found like created the solution, because I think that's a lot of people are like, well, it's easy for me. Like, I don't like, I can't really teach that to people, but it's not easy for everybody. And so when we take a step back and say, okay, well, here's what everybody's doing, and I can see that there's a better way, or people are asking questions, and I was able to easily do that. You can package that up and teach people how to do the things that come easily to you. It doesn't have to be this like crazy extravagant thing. I think that's a lot of people get into their heads about it, or like, well, I can't just teach people how to create a meal plan. That's too simple. And yes, you can, because people don't know how
Yeah,
to do it. A lot of people need that. So you just
right.
need to find like the need in the market and address that. And I love that you did that, and then saw the opportunity to teach others how to do the same. And the software piece is so huge. Especially I had a similar journey as you did. I started off as I worked in early childhood education, became a director, went back to work after having my second kid, and it was just too much. And so I ended up going into virtual assistant work in 2019, and things have just kind of progressed and grown from there. But yeah, it's when you're first getting into this world, there's so much to learn, and so much like, what is the best software, and do I really need this, and how do you create content that converts and create sales pages, and what should be on them. So much stuff to learn. So I love that you're kind of providing that resource for people.
I think we often go like right to, how can I package up everything I know? And like, I haven't gotten this huge, result. I haven't made $1 million, or I haven't lost 50 pounds. Or I haven't, like we think that we have to reach like these incredible results before you can then help the person. Um, but I mean, one, you only have to be a few steps ahead to be able to help somebody, right? And then also like really the more niche, the more specific of the problem that you can solve, the better. I mean, that first course, like the first thing that I solved and like what got me 400 like emails, in that one post was around one tool. It was Square. I'm sure like a lot of you all have
Mhm.
seen like that you can take payments. So it literally was just around how to use Square for this specific network marketing business. Like that's all
Mhm.
it was, right? Like so it doesn't have to be huge. It can be just one little result, one little thing that you know how to do that other people don't know how to do. So just yeah, wanted to
Yeah.
reiterate that. But that's kind of who I mostly help. Is somebody, that they have gotten a result and they want to help other people by putting it into some form of digital offer. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that you brought up that it was how to use Square, because that information is probably readily available
oh
on
yeah.
YouTube. Like,
Yes.
they would have to do is go to YouTube, but they
Yes.
don't know how to use it for their specific situation. And
Exactly.
so
Yeah. I was just listening to a training from somebody else today, like right before I got on the call. And the way she said something really like stood out to me. understood the concept, and it's a concept that I teach. But the way she said it is that people aren't paying you for everything you know. They're paying you to tell them what they need to know.
Yeah.
Like in making it simpler and like using your filter. Like they're paying you for your filter to be able to take everything you know and filter it down to give them only the things that they need to know,
Right.
right? Like so that you can or they can be not overwhelmed by all of the information, right? You're just giving them the pieces that they need to know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really something good to keep in mind, because a lot of times one of the mistakes that people do make, and I've totally been guilty of it too, is trying to like cram everything, and
Yes.
like, what else can I give them? And oh, they need to know this, and then and it's like, no,
Yeah.
really, the more streamlined and the simpler, the less steps you can give them, the better.
Yes, very true. Yeah, I definitely ran into that. So if you just follow one program, one path of action, it makes it so much easier. So tell us a little bit about the Blessing Builder platform. So it does all of the things for people. And then, so is that part of like when people work with you, is that they like add that on as their systems and it kind of works together with your program?
Yeah, so I kind of have it set up that like you can approach it from either side, because I know there are some people that are more just like, I just need software. And then there are some people that are more looking like, I need to know what to do, you
Mhm.
know? And so I've kind of like separated it into two different things, but essentially when you buy one, you get the other. Software itself is, like I said, an all-in-one. So it has everything you need to build out your marketing system, your sales system, delivery system. You can, there's a social media planner, so like, and scheduler, so you can like schedule your social media there. You can set up your landing page for your freebie and deliver it with your email and build your email list there, and set up recurring emails and all of that. You can have your course, or whatever it is your offer, actually house it there. It hosts your video too, so you don't need another tool for that. It takes the payments. You can actually also do invoices and proposals. So if maybe you do have more of a done for you service, but you want to add on a course, you don't have to have two different softwares, for those sides of your business. It's all in one. You can have communities. You can have just a regular old website. You can build out, as elaborate of a funnel as you would like, or super simple. And same like with automations, you can, do a simple automation of like, if somebody DMs you on Instagram, you can automatically, respond with a message there. Or you can set up an elaborate automation where it's like, if they do this, then I want to take them down this straight, and if they do this, I want to, you can do all of that. So it truly has everything you need to run an online business, except Zoom. That's kind of what I say is
Yeah.
like, you will, like, if you do any kind of live calls, you do need like either Google Meet or, Zoom,
Yeah.
something to actually host your live video. But other than that, it has everything you need.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we
So,
will definitely link that up in the show notes for everybody so they can check it out. Any last minute things that you want the listeners to know?
yeah, so I was just going to add, like, on top of the software. So then when you join, like, I don't want to just hand you a software and like say, okay, there you go. Because that's what I've found is like, you
Yeah.
either get the software and you're like, how do I actually use this? Or you get the program and you're like, well, how do I actually implement this? Right. And so the program side of things, I walk people through kind of 4 stages. It's what I call dream up, set up, startup, and show up. So dream up is like all about, really figuring out what is your offer, and how can we package that up. And then setup is just kind of getting your tech piece set up, getting a freebie set up so you can start growing your list, getting all of that kind of basic foundational stuff set up. And then startup is about creating a conversion event, to be able to sell your offer, whether that's a 5-day challenge, whether that's just a sales call funnel, right? Like whatever that looks like, setting up your conversion event, how you're going to actually sell it. And then show up is about like building out whatever it is that you are offering, and really showing up to deliver, getting people results, and then kind of figuring out like, okay, how do I show up moving forward, and what does my kind of ongoing marketing strategy look like? So those are kind of the phases I take people through, and by the end you have a full funnel. I use the ABCs. I won't go into all of that, but if you want that, I've got a full training in my Facebook group, that kind of goes through all of the different moving pieces that we would build out. So
Perfect. Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. I love that you take people from like literally, I think I might maybe do this thing to, okay, here's how we're going to build it out, do all the things, get the system set up, market it, just everything all in one, because not very many people or programs are offering like an A to Z
Right,
kind of
right.
setup like that. So I love that. And we'll definitely link that up in the show notes for everybody. And I hope you all go check it out, especially if you've kind of been like on the fence about packaging your expertise up and creating a more passive-ish offer for your business.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having me.